took a short break, got some food, all that stuff. So now I'm not starved out of my mind. And we need to head south. I would really like to finish getting the submarine. We need to find Mangrove College. There's probably some other places through here that we haven't discovered. I can think of a few that I know we haven't seen yet. Honestly, it might be worth even checking out the Empire of Hands again. See if there's more to do there. Actually, thinking about it, is there anywhere where it says, like, different things that you have to do? Kind of difficult sometimes to figure out exactly where you are in different quests. I know we need to take our chef to the Gant Pole. Well, not the Gant Pole, but the Chelinade. I always think of the Gant Pole because it's so close to it, but they're two different places. So I'm thinking, go down here. We probably won't need much in the way of fuel, but we'll probably stop there anyway. I know we need to go to the salt mines too, actually. Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe we circle out here through Demuth Island and the Shepherd Isles down to the Salt Lions. And then from there, we could either go to Gator's Morn. I mean, I keep hoping we'll run into the pirate poet there because I think there are a couple of events where that can happen. So I'm hoping, but yeah, from Salt Lions to Gator's Morn down to Visage. And then from there, cut across to the Iron Republic because by then we'll probably have some room for fuel. And then from there down to Port Carnelian. See where we're at. If we're still doing well, then at that point we might explore a little bit out here and kind of vaguely work our way through to the Empire of Hands. See, the only problem with that plan is that is a long way. And there's nowhere over here that we like to buy fuel. The closest place that is even passable is Khan's Shadow. So, I mean, we're not carrying too much in the way of supplies, so we might be able to fit enough fuel. There's also the fact where if we visit Port Carnelian, then it might actually be better to buy coffee and go up this way. Even though it means not exploring as much, cut up this way to Khan's Glory. We'll figure it out, but vaguely going in this direction. First stop, Shepherd Isles and Demuth. And it's seen us, so may as well put our light on. We're gonna take at least one hit here. Oh, no, we actually managed to outdistance the charge. Keep getting more Z stories for that. We need them. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't notice this before, but at the Shepherd Isles, a retired monster hunter wants something to remember his glory days. In return, he will show you a secret graveyard populated by curious corpses in curious boxes. So we can trade a hunting trophy for a Sooth and Cooper long box, which I would say if we could find a source of hunting trophies would be a better deal than having to trade a secret. 3 secrets, actually, I think, for them. Well, we're going to talk to them about Thornwell Croft again for a few fragments in a Z story. Always nice. Generally speaking, I haven't been mentioning it as much, but if we go past a place, you can assume that I'm usually stopping to grab the port report from it because it's fuel, and honestly, it's probably been the biggest source of income for us has been the port reports. So We need him. But it's not really worth pointing out if nothing else happens while I'm at the port. Honestly, with all these little rocks, I kind of wonder if we could maybe deal with that thing. How much health do you have? A distressing amount of health is the answer. I still can't see the bar. Oh, and now it's charging. But it didn't quite get us. We are going to try to get a rock between us and it. So we need to get some distance. This is where... Because yeah, you might be wondering, because I said early on, having an aft gun is really useful. Well, how is that useful when every time you guys see me fighting a ship, I'm always trying to stay behind them? Well, this is where it's useful, for fighting Z-beasts. Because then you can just continuously move away and still be firing at them. And considering most Z-beasts, their main form of attack is ramming, that is very, very good. We are just speedy enough and stealthy enough that we're kind of squeaking by here. But oh my, is it narrow that we're managing to kind of pull this off. I still don't know how much damage it does. Here's hoping we don't find out. Okay, good. We managed to get to charge into a rock that time. So we should actually have enough time to kind of turn and shoot. Oh, have we gotten it stuck? Because, yeah, we're kind of taking advantage of our veils here. We're confusing it. We're trying to take advantage of the rocks. Literally anything. But if we had an aft gun, or as I occasionally call it, because I had a friend who used to insist on calling it this, a butt gun, then all you have to do is just keep running away. It makes it so much simpler than this weird jig we're trying to do right now. And unfortunately, it's managed to chase us up out of the rocks. We've gotten its health really low. So if we can get some distance, make it confused, make it lose sight of us for a minute, then we can turn and try to line up another shot. Honestly, even just having a forward gun or something, so we at least had two guns happening, would be somewhat helpful. But it is important to note that forward guns tend to have a much narrower cone than deck guns do, which is what we currently have. So yes, we can take those out. It's just incredibly stressful. Probably about the biggest Z-beast I'd be willing to take out, because I don't think it could one-shot us. We could dissect it for knowledge, or we could butcher it for supplies. Pages gives us a 72% chance. Let's see what butchering it gets us, because that's a sure thing. And then we'll decide, is that a good enough sure thing to be worth passing on the dissection? You have an unprepossessing mass and 1 supplies. Open an unprepossessing mass. There is probably something horrible inside, but possibly there is not. Suitable for smoking, you can probably preserve this to eat at your leisure. Fling it overboard. The smell alone is reason enough. You will gain nothing, but at least you won't suffer terror effects or smoking it. It will serve, but the smoke brings a kind of horror, a waking dream, a kinesthetic sense of vast things coiling in crushing, lightless black. 1 terror for 1 supplies. Okay. Now, obviously, a better gun in general would also help, because then we wouldn't have to survive as long. A lot of things would help here. Arguably, even a better engine would help, because we'd be faster. We're only just barely able to pull that off right now. I think thanks to Maybe's daughter. I think if we were that little bit slower, it would have hit us at least once there, maybe more. All right, we are going to compile a port report. We're down to 5 crew, so we're going to accept the volunteer this time. All right, from here we should... Honestly, I kind of want to visit Abbey Rock because we have recent news and we can't take it to Hunter's Keep anymore. Let me just zoom in a bit to try to make that legible. Well, low barn, it's just kind of overlapping it no matter what zoom level it's at, but you know what I mean. However, Abbey Rock's pretty close to London. We could just try to hit that on the way back. Yeah, we're going to go with that. We're going to go down to the salt lines for now. Yep, just one of the basic steam pinnaces. And now you see us. More parabola linen. Go us. That means that's one less we'll have to buy from somewhere. Honestly, if we happen to get that store that sells parabola linen when we're at the Iron Republic, we may just buy the 5 that we need and head back to London. Kind of a boring trip compared to what I had in mind, but sometimes that happens. Oh, is that an abyss that we hadn't named yet? Yes, okay, that is Wilbert's Abyss, apparently. I get how you would tell the islands apart when they move, but how do you tell the abysses apart? Especially without being able to dive down there. Alright, we got 2 supplies, 2 fuel, and 1 more fuel. Yeah, really not a big concern. Honestly, we could probably, with this amount of fuel, even pass on visiting the Iron Republic at all if we were heading immediately out here. The thing is, we also want to go to Port Carnelian and Visage, but I'm kind of wondering if maybe we should make a big loop and then up to the Iron Republic. Yeah, we might do that. Let's see. Schalt Flyans. You've brought the Necrius outcast here. With luck, it knows why. Moist wide eyes. Schultz Fretension, it insists. Godgely. It gestures at the face of the Northern Sphinx. It brandishes the cruet. You'll need Salt's attention to continue. You can gain it in Wither, among other places. Well, I wish we'd known that back before Hunter's Keep fell, because then we just would have had to talk to the correct sister and gotten the attention. But yeah, we're going to have to go to Wither, I think, at this point. So, okay, good. I wish I'd realized that before. Maybe the game told me and I just forgot. That's always a possibility. But we're going to have to go all the way up to Wither for that, and I'm sure we'll eventually head back up that way, but I'm not doubling back there now. Oh, it's the pirate poet again. Money, 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 money. Yep, you just put out flares. Honestly, that helps me more than you. 'Cause here's the thing. If you put out flares, you want to make sure that you yourself are not in the flare. She's really bad at that. Oh, you tried to fire and you missed. Stuff! Filthy scrap of paper, creased and grimy. It's a page from a journal. On the day we saw the Pillars of Irem, they are not what I expected. Irem is the place one does not expect. That is its nature. You have seen it in your dreams. Yes, you, who found this page long after my death. I knew when I wrote these words that you would read them one day. Irem taught me this, and now Irem's lesson is all that remains of me. Gained a memory of distant shores. Okay, we'll double back to Visage, but I noticed while we were fighting the pirate poet that there's something out this way. Reef of Roses. Anything else out here? It's looking like this place might require a submarine. A lot of these places where it has a landmark, it has a name, but there's no place to dock. Not all of them, but a lot of them have more to do if you have a submarine. Is one of the reasons I am trying to work our way down to Port Carnelian. Let's see. Well, last time we went with the frog mask as a curious bumbling oaf. Let's try the locust mask. Hunger for all things. Moon moth settles the locust mask over your head. The eye holes are covered with a thin gold film through which valuable objects gleam more brightly. May you find a happy harvest, says Moon Moth. Then, when you have partly turned away, it double knots the ties on its purse, as though you're likely to pick its pockets. Doesn't it know you can see it? Alright, let's visit the Library of Parts. Okay, yeah, you get a lot of different options. Like, stealing the scroll is a little different because it's the sort of thing a locust might do. Pick the pockets of the readers while they are looking. You can be acquiring. Yes. Successful, if not wealthy. You dip your fingers into a crocodile's purse and acquire a few coppers from a heron. The coins here are no more than tiny copper chips, each stamped with an eye sigil. The exchange rate must be thousands of these to the echo, hardly worth taking home. But you have acted as a locust is meant to act anyhow. There are no scrolls for locusts in the Library of Parts. Okay, so you get fewer chances to play around with the early masks because it's jumped us right to trading masks with the moon moth. So next time, I guess, so as the locust, I'll go for the scroll. I thought we would have more interactions because we did last time. Yep, swapping masks. We're now moon moth again. We never visited the side of the face last time. The stone cheek of Flourishing of Years is visited as a pilgrimage by inhabitants of Visage. If you're in good favor, you too may go. You must, of course, wait until your work with this day's crop of frogs and locusts is complete. It would not be suitable to bring them along. Up on the hillside, the buildings become scarcer and then vanish entirely, leaving you looking at the bottom of a great chin. Study the ancient marks. Offer instructions to a frog that found its way up here. Push a visiting bat off the stone chin. Deface the stone with new markings. This will get you kicked off the island in all likelihood. Thank you for pointing that out. Silently observe the attitude of the visiting lion. We're going to try to offer instructions to the frog that found its way up here. We have a 72% chance of success based on our pages. Creditable on both sides. You tell the frog a partially true story about how this face was carved. The frog replies with an amplified belch and a story heard about the sphinxes known as the salt lions. It's really a very good frog. Silently observe the attitude of the visiting lion. You contemplate the lion for some time. There is an arithmetic sequence to the count of bows that it performs to each feature. The eyes, the nose, each lip. It is hard to know whether the lion is meant to be her worshipper or her lover. Perhaps the two functions are not very distinct. When at last the lion bows lion's bows are complete, it passes you with a slight snap of its masked jaws. It was rude of you to stand there watching. The moth watches visitors. It does not watch citizens. To do so has violated the strictures of both your roles. Okay, interesting. That was a distinction I was not aware of. Meditate on the meaning of the face. It offers many forms of inspiration. Flourishing in eternity. The citizens give many meanings to the face. Perpetual beauty, stasis, the idea of looking upward into an unyielding darkness. But most of all, they speak of the idea of someone above looking down. The face is not convenient to view from down here. It would look its best from the perspective of the ceiling of the Untersee, beyond reach. And we end our performance and leave the island. So we're going to have to visit here a few times to really figure this out, I feel. Right, we got supplies and fuel. And more supplies. Yeah, that is kind of another reason to cut through near Gator's Mourn, because you do tend to find a lot of pirates here, unsurprisingly. And honestly, with a small crew like this, you can just basically hunt pirates for supplies and not really ever have to worry about buying any. I mean, it'd been a while since we'd even dipped below 10 supplies before. I mean, I know we did, but, you know, it's rare, and I don't think we've gotten down to 5 supplies in ages. Oh, hey, we found the pirate poet. The pirate poet is here, performing for a crowd outside the limpet. Verses amongst iniquity. She is halfway through the familiar baptism in glass as you approach. The pirates and corsairs are enraptured by the heavy thumps of verse, as are your own crew. She moves on to her most famous work, Remember Polythyreme, before finally noticing you during the scream of clay. As the applause and clinking of coins fades, she tilts her head towards the pub door. At Z, you are deadly rivals. Here, you can simply be 2 captains sharing a drink and a few stories. Drinks? A tryst? I'm not going to do that, because stuff like that tends to somehow, some way, get back to your significant other in London. So even if you're okay with being a cheating bastard, it doesn't end well. Drinks, just drinks. Few have the constitution to match a clay man. Where is this? London? Vinderbite? Naples? No, it is still the morn. Your mouth is dry, your body sore. Your head, you clasp a hand to it. It burns almost as much as it aches. Memories rush back, the clap of the pirate poet's hand on your shoulder as she described the aftermath of your last encounter. Her story of countless days spent fighting her way through the slime and stench of the Z-Beast's stomach. Rescued by slavers, then shoveling coal until an opportunity arose to escape. And then there was more. Now just aching. All over. But mostly there. Why there, of all places? A bandage. Is it a wound from an ill-judged duel? No. You recall a parting gift, given with a smirk and baptized with a loving splash of cheap whiskey. You peel back the fabric. A tattoo. Oh. Oh no. Your memoirs, a pirate's tattoo quality is now obscene, illegal, anatomically almost improbable. And we've lost 10 terror. I'm hoping that it hasn't affected our stats by, like, removing our other tattoo. I don't think it has. Okay, gathering intelligence, 70%. Scarecrow, Scarecrow. You're eavesdropping on the captain of a lean black cutter when her first mate spots you. In the ensuing fracas, one of your crew is smashed through a flimsy wooden wall. He falls 200 feet to be impaled on a smaller stalagmite in the shadow of the morn and dies instantly. It's a painless death, but his slowly mummifying corpse will hang there for decades to come. Ships will salute it. Successive generations of children will name it, rename it, fling stones, dare each other to climb the pinnacle and kiss its fleshless hand. You do get the port report either way, if you're curious. It's mostly just that you tend to lose crew if you muck it up. And exploring the morn. A glittering eye. You turn and there's a long, lank, brown man at your shoulder. Listen, he says, I have a story for you. Something about the graybeard compels your attention. Leave. Don't look back. If he catches your eye, you'll be lost. Turn the situation around. No, I have stories for you. Oh, we have to turn. We have to. Fresh from the sea, he has experienced horror and wonder, but so are you. So have you, and your tale is so much the fresher. You wrestle with each other's histories until at last he concedes. Here, he says, this is where it all began, with the astronomer and the ephemerides. He whispers in your ear. Gained fragments. At the cost of a tale of terror and a Z story, but come on, I had to pick that line. Crack pirate. Who proceeded to lose track of us as soon as we turned our light off, so can't be that good. And some fuel. Would have preferred supplies, because, let's face it, we're going to go buy fuel, but hey, that's a bit less fuel that we have to buy. And yeah, we still don't have enough fuel to go to the surface. Managing that is honestly pretty tricky. You have to very specifically be prepped for it. We'll do it eventually, but we'll want some empty mirror catch boxes, among other things, too. Listen for surface gossip. Yep, vision of the surface. Yes. Should have fired early, but I thought we'd outdistanced it. Sea story and fragments. Literally as far back as I can go. We are hitting things. Still no. Seriously, what do I need to do to get that last part of the map? Alright, port report. Okay. Yep, sensations are overwhelming. Again, we've seen that. Our stats did not change. I'll take that. Tale of terror and memory of a distant shore. And let's see what shop opens today. Also, we may eventually want to get this if we can get the Devil Bone Dice and the Stygian Ivory. But it's just like I've said, we need to get a ship that could actually use it, or it'll just sit in the hold. Alright, we've gotten the one that sells the Dark Drop coffee, which just honestly isn't that important for us because we can buy it at Port Carnelian for the same price. Okay, we are stocked up on fuel. don't feel like we need to see the Dawn machine again right now. Oh yeah, I remember that thing. I remember that boat. That one has a gun in the rear, so not bugging it. Yeah, and still just kind of trying to get this frickin' coast to reveal its secrets. Not working. It's not working at all. Oh, of course. Are you gonna circle back down or not? Please make a decision. Oh, you are. Name the abyss, please. Thank you. Wanted the fragments. Didn't want to have the light on very long. Alright, we're gonna get some distance from all that. Okay, at some point the coast revealed itself. I don't understand. I don't care. It worked.